Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Summary Spot, where we turn powerful books into actionable insights. Today, we'll dive into the gripping and heart-wrenching journey of Paul Kalanithi, a neurosurgeon whose life took a dramatic turn when he was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer at the age of 36. Grab your tea, find a cozy spot, and let's unpack the lessons from this remarkable memoir that bridges life, medicine, and mortality. Chapter 1. The Call to Medicine. Paul Kalanithi was no ordinary doctor. Before he ever stepped into an operating room, he was a passionate reader and thinker, deeply curious about the meaning of life. With degrees in literature, philosophy, and medicine, Paul sought to understand not only how life works but what makes it worth living. His fascination with the brain led him to neurosurgery, a field that placed him at the boundary of life and death. As a doctor, he found immense satisfaction in guiding patients through some of their darkest moments. Little did he know, his greatest trial was yet to come. Chapter 2. The Diagnosis. At the pinnacle of his career, Paul began experiencing unexplained weight loss and back pain. A routine checkup revealed the unimaginable, advanced stage for lung cancer. The roles reversed. Paul, the doctor, became Paul, the patient. Suddenly, his life as a caregiver took on a new dimension. He faced the same fears and uncertainties he had once helped others navigate. Yet, instead of succumbing to despair, Paul decided to focus on what truly mattered: his relationships, his passions, and his purpose. Chapter 3. Living with Purpose. Paul didn't see his diagnosis as the end. He continued working as a neurosurgeon for as long as his health allowed. But when the disease progressed, he turned to his lifelong love, writing. His memoir became a way to leave behind a legacy, a reflection of his journey through life, medicine, and the looming presence of death. Paul also embraced fatherhood, welcoming a daughter into the world, knowing he might not live to see her grow up. Through it all, Paul grappled with the question, what makes life meaningful in the face of death? His answer lay in love, work, and the courage to confront the unknown. Chapter 4. Lessons on Mortality. Paul's story isn't just about dying, it's about living with intention. He teaches us that life is fragile, yet beautiful. We often chase achievements, but it's the connections we make and the impact we leave behind that define our legacy. As Paul writes, even if I'm dying, until I actually die, I am still living. Chapter 5. Facing the End with Grace. As Paul's health deteriorated, he came to terms with his mortality. He made the conscious choice to spend his remaining days with purpose and grace. Writing his memoir became not just a way to process his experience, but also a gift for his family and the world. One of the most touching aspects of Paul's story is his deep love for his wife, Lucy, and their newborn daughter, Katie. Despite knowing he might not be there to see Katie grow up, Paul poured his love and hopes for her into his writing, leaving behind words she could carry with her forever. Through his vulnerability and wisdom, Paul reminds us that death is not just an ending, it can also be a moment of clarity, where the true essence of life becomes visible. Chapter 6. Legacy Through Words. In the final months of his life, Paul focused on completing his memoir. Writing became a bridge between the world he was leaving and the world he wanted to shape. He poured his thoughts, fears, hopes, and dreams into words, not only as a reflection of his journey, but also as a guide for others. His writing offers a profound lesson. Our legacy is not in how long we live, but in the impact we leave behind. Paul's decision to write his story was an act of courage and love, a gift for his daughter, wife, and readers who would find solace and meaning in his words. Chapter 7. The Role of Faith and Philosophy. Throughout his life, Paul was drawn to the intersection of science and spirituality. His diagnosis reignited his search for deeper meaning. He wrestled with philosophical questions. What does it mean to live a good life? Is there a purpose beyond the physical realm? Though Paul didn't align with any one religion, he found comfort in the idea that life's value isn't diminished by its brevity. His reflections remind us that facing mortality can lead to a deeper understanding of life's mysteries. Chapter 8. The Courage to Let Go. As Paul's condition worsened, He had to relinquish the role of the neurosurgeon and fully embrace being a patient. Letting go was not easy for someone so dedicated to his career, but it allowed him to focus on the time he had left with his family. Paul's ability to confront his fears and accept the inevitable teaches us an important lesson. Sometimes, true strength lies in surrender. By letting go of control, Paul was able to find peace and focus on what truly mattered. Chapter 9. Paul's Final Days. In his final days, Paul's strength waned, but his spirit remained strong. His wife Lucy stood by his side, supporting him through his last moments. Paul continued to reflect on life and death with clarity, showing immense gratitude for the love and support that surrounded him. His passing was peaceful, a culmination of a life lived with purpose and reflection. Lucy's moving epilogue in the memoir provides a touching tribute to Paul's legacy, capturing the profound impact he had on those who knew him and those who had read his story. Chapter 10. Lessons for the Living. Paul's story leaves us with many lessons. Cherish every moment. Life's brevity makes each moment precious. Pursue meaning, not just success. A meaningful life is built on relationships, passions, and impact, not just achievements. Face mortality with courage. Accepting death doesn't diminish life, it deepens its significance. As Paul wrote, you can't ever reach perfection, but you can believe in an asymptote toward which you are ceaselessly striving. Conclusion. Paul's eternal legacy. Paul Kalanithi's When Breath Becomes Air is more than a memoir. It's a guide to living a life of purpose, even in the face of uncertainty. His story is a beacon of hope, reminding us that while we can't control the length of our lives, we can shape their depth and meaning. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Paul's powerful memoir. If this story resonated with you, consider reading the book to experience its full emotional and philosophical depth. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Summary Spot for more stories that inspire and transform. Until next time, keep seeking meaning, keep growing, and remember, life's value lies not in its permanence, but in its purpose.